nervous going away in a Cox's Fall. This is the Stewards Challenge Cup. This is the semi-final between Thames A and Thames B. Let's take a look. Here we are with the A crew, the red hats in place, and, well, nice, hard, long legs, strong strokes. Catherine, what are you seeing there? I mean, really, again, very, very dynamic, quick start to the finish. What's interesting was in that very, very first stroke, you see the Thames B crew slightly, the angle suddenly changed to move towards the middle, so you felt actually, not just as there's two close crews coming together, they actually physically moved together off the start, and that will be, again, a challenge, but unsettling, and means the umpires stepping in very quickly. So between those four Thames A athletes, 44 Henley appearances between them, and the Thames B athletes on this side, well, only 34. That's a huge amount of Henley experience in these two boats, and Thames have won, I think, 80 times at Henley. So this is a club that knows what it's doing down the Henley track, and these guys have got tons and tons of racing experience. They won't be fazed by, you know, what does the barrier marker mean and where's the 500-metre mark. They know this track like the back of their hands. Yeah, and this is a club that is just doing extraordinarily well this season. They just have come to Henley. They've got a lot of boats in the finals. So, I mean, this is just extraordinary racing, and I'm sure they will have trained together as well. They'll know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and now it's about who can take the ultimate moment today. If I'm in the B crew right now, I'm pretty happy, right? I'm staying up with the A crew pretty well. If I was in the A crew, I might have thought I want to punch them out of the way and get through it. It's Matt Britton here enjoying this race, Thames A against Thames B. Alongside me, it's Catherine Granger. What are we making of this? The B crew are hanging on. Yeah, I feel slightly breathless. I think at this point we finally see the A crew starting to move out. Incredibly close start to this race. Two crews, A and B crew, battling out for the right of pride and victory to go through to the final tomorrow. But the A crew looks like they've just managed to get just that tiny, like every stroke starting to move out on their sort of B crew rivals. And I think they'll hope to just keep making that distance grow over the next bit of the course. Yeah, I love the sort of mixture you get in the faces of rowers competing at this level. It's the kind of calmness at the same time as the ferocity, isn't it? And you can see that. And you looking at the crew there, sitting in the 2 seat, we've got James Palmer, who's won the Thames Cup himself. He's giving the calls. You don't have a Cox here, so you have somebody in the boat usually will be able to splutter a couple of words that mean something. You pick the words carefully, don't you, Kat? Yeah, you do. And what you get over, you know, they'll have had weeks and months and years often training together, and, you know, a club that knows each other very well as well across probably both boats. And actually what you understand is one word can say 1,000 things. So you get better and better at shorter communication because you're, you know, trying to struggle for breath as well as rowing as fast and hard as you can. So, you know, less is more when it comes to calling in these Cox's boats. And often it's just a word you might just call finishes or something, and which means a technical call to focus on a particular part of the stroke. But A and B, well, they're not too far apart at this point. The B crew's got to be pretty happy that they are taking it to the A crew. Huge Henley experience and a beautiful afternoon here. Really tip-top racing conditions we've got on super semi-final Saturday. I know that these pictures are fantastic as well, just seeing the crews coming towards us, and it's such an incredible course to be coming down. And still, you know, both crews will feel they've got a chance in this, even though the A crew is definitely getting that edge they want. They won't be completely comfortable yet. So the A crew, just a touch of overlap, maybe starting to break into clear water advantage over the B crew now, and that's where they want to be, getting to the halfway mark and maybe able to start to ease back a little bit and save a bit of energy. The golden sunlight this morning, the heat is getting up and up, and the heat of this racing this afternoon has been phenomenal so far. Yeah, it's semi-final days. This is the sort of racing you want. We've got some fantastic standard of competition over the Saturday and Sunday semi-finals into finals. And for any crews right now, so we're watching Thames A now moving away from their B crew, and they will want to make sure they've very clear winners, but also, if it's possible at all, just manage to stay within themselves. They have a big race ahead of them tomorrow if they make it to the final. So pretty much a length of clear water as we pass the 3/4 mile signal in this Stewards Challenge Cup. I love this race, Kath, partly because this is the race that well, was founded by the Brasenose Oxford Cox in a Cox 4 jumping out during a race here at Henley. And they were immediately disqualified, not surprisingly, but that led to the creation of a Cox's Falls category for the first time, and there you go. It's a very different kind of boat to row because of the way the resistance works. So this is the invention, not like something we would endorse today, I think, from a safety standpoint. But from a commentary standpoint, absolutely would endorse it. It's much more fun to watch that swimmers, but obviously stewards badges on and safety in mind, not recommended.
We're very responsible here. What we want to do is offer the best possible racing in every category for men and women throughout the programme, and that's what we've been seeing here on Henley semi-finals day. This is Thames B now, continuing to be determined. They know that they're going to have a tall order to take it to the Thames A crew, so they've just got to enjoy the process and enjoy this run down the Henley track. And they're now approaching the point where the bank gets a bit closer. You start to hear the crowd noise as well, which is always lovely. Yeah,
and they're about to hit. You can see the sort of water changing as they've got a big bit of wash coming through. And this is the thing that's so unique about Henley, is there's so many other boats on the river causing these kind of unpredictable washes and changing circumstances as you go down the course. And it's something that these crews are very, very experienced. As we said, the A crew even more experienced in numbers of times they've been here, and that really helps. That really helps to cope with the conditions.
Yeah, well, yesterday we had, I think, rather tougher conditions. I was calling this area the Badlands or the Devil's Cauldron. We had a real swirl of water and wind that was causing real problems. Even for the eights, they were kind of crabbing along through this bit. But today, the wind's a little bit lower, the sun's a little bit higher, and sunglasses on the face of Sarah Winkler, the umpire. She's had no trouble in this race. Thames A and Thames B, so much experience at Henley, winning across so many events, and now the A crew can enjoy the last phase of this race.
Yeah, there's something very special. Oh, talking of which, Sarah Winkler is now warning the A crew to move aside.
Well, that's because she heard me. Thank you, Sarah, for providing a little bit of movement. So just warning the A crew back onto their station. They're getting a little bit close together, and she just wants a clean racing. And the umpires here are really all about kind of creating confidence in the crews and trying not to intervene unless absolutely necessary. There's plenty of room in that track for both crews, but it's not always easy, particularly when you're under pressure.
Yeah, and what the rules are really, you can't impede the crew that's behind you, and if you cut across the middle, you are creating quite a wash for the crew behind you. So almost from a fairness point of view, give people the best water they can race in, and there's enough space, as you say. There's not just sort of the middle lane you want to try and dominate from. So I think back to their sides, and it's a fairer race.
So Hugh Jones, 30 years old, at bow. James Palmer in front of him. Anthony Lester, 37, and Sam Thornton, younger guy, at 31, at stroke of the Thames A crew. Well, they're putting their spots to go up against the GB4. This is going to be a tall order for them tomorrow, so they are saving as much energy as possible to be ready to really punch it up in the final tomorrow as they come through the last 2 or 3 strokes to the finish line at Henley. That's Thames A in their distinctive red hats. Well done to them. And Thames B, Matt Robinson, Richard Dyer, Sky Landon and Alex Cawthorne coming through the line now. Well done to them.
Yeah, great race. Always tough. We've said this before. When you're up against your A crew, you know you've got the odds against you as a B crew. But, you know, every time we see it, we see brilliant B crews coming up and thinking this could be their moment to take back. But A crew have delivered as expected here.